everybody. I hope you can hear me well, loud and clear. My name is Euler Trader. This is a basic educational course which we are doing. We have a community of traders, Spanish-speaking, English-speaking communities. And as usual, guys, if you will have any questions about this video, let us know in the comments. Join our communities. We're very active. So today we want to talk about structural liquidity, SQL, channels and trends and how they're formed. So here, this is November, literally a few months ago, this is November graph. Let's look at this. So we can see here essentially the liquidity, how it's formed. So we can see the C bosses forming the liquidity, and we can see the liquidity channel being formed as it is. So this would be our uptrend. And then we can see here, essentially in this situation, we can see our boss, our break of structure. We can see how this key low is not being beaten by another key low, and well, you can call it this one or this. But essentially, here we can see a clear break of structure and the change and the reverse in the channel going to downtrend. So what I want to emphasize here is that liquidity is basically acting like a fuel for the price. So every time when we have the pattern flowing up, so essentially it repeats itself. So as we can see here, the pattern is being formed. And this is happening because the liquidity is being swept every time. So the liquidity, which is being formed, as we mentioned in the previous video, on the stop losses, is being accumulated every time on the way. So as you can see here, the liquidity has been accumulated, and then it has been swept. So here you can see clearly the sweep of this liquidity. So this movement of the price here, it has successfully absorbed, it has taken the liquidity to use it to move the price further up from here. So that's how, and then continuation as well. So this liquidity was enough to take the price up to this point. Again, liquidity has been accumulated. Then it has been all the liquidity. Let me just zoom here. So as you can see, all the liquidity, especially when you see equal highs, that's the liquidity being accumulated. So that's when people, that's where the traders, or that's where the medium and small players on the market, that's where the liquidity is accumulated, and that's where the stop losses and take profits are being accumulated. And that's this swing here, this swing has taken all the liquidity which was on the level before. And this was enough to take the price from this point further up. And then again, the same pattern, if you can see it. So the liquidity has been accumulated here. Again, this one, as you can see, this one was not swept properly. So as you can see here, this high, let me draw here a little bit. So this high, it's a little bit higher. So this low, sorry, it's a little bit higher than the previous low. So the liquidity was not swept. So this is not a healthy movement. So this is basically unhealthy structural liquidity movement, what we see here. So the liquidity is not being swept. Then here the same, the liquidity is being left behind here, and this liquidity which is left behind, it allows for the reverse of the trend. So every time when essentially, if during the price movement the liquidity remains on the market, it's likely to be taken by someone in the near future. And if during the current move the price collects all the liquidity, so this is actually the confirmation of the continuation of the trend. Again, so when it tries to, so as you can see here, when the price tries to collect all the liquidity as much as possible, this is a healthy market move, and we can be confident that the price will continue in this direction, in this case up. As soon as we can see the liquidity is not being swept, it will be swept because it's been left behind. So this is essentially what we can see here. So the liquidity have been left. Let me choose a different rectangle. So the liquidity was left here. So this means that at some point, this will allow on the downtrend, it will allow the big player to grab it here at this point. So you see that this acted as a fuel for a strong here, for the strong downtrend here. And then, so every liquidity, let me mark it with rectangles. So every liquidity which have been left, every level will act as a fuel at the next stage. Here, here, here you see as well. These equal lows. So these are the key lows where we can expect the price to move in the opposite movement of the price. So here, for example, as you can see, the liquidity have been left, it has not been swept, and then it has been taken on the downtrend. So this liquidity, it was not used for the price to be taken up, and then it was used for the price to be taken down on the opposite direction. Here as well, it wasn't swept, and then it was used here. Okay? And then the same logic we can see on the downtrend. So we have the liquidity accumulated here. The liquidity is getting accumulated here, and then the liquidity is getting accumulated here, and then it's been swept, and the price is taken down as well. We can see some liquidity being accumulated. We can see the sweep, not as clear though, but we have it taken down. This one here is a more perfect example because we can see clearly. We can see here the imbalance. We can see this imbalance here, and then it's being tested. So it's being covered again. So all of this here, there are stop losses and take profits here. So all of this, it's all money lying around behind this level. It has been taken by this sweep and enough to take the price down. That's where the big player wants the price to take. So it's basically taken so it's selling its position at the high price, taking it down to make the asset cheaper, to be able to buy again and to accumulate the asset again. So I hope it makes sense, guys. Again, every time when it's something unclear, go ahead, don't be shy, ask in the comments, and so we can discuss it more in details. Again, as usual, I invite you to join our community. We have Spanish-speaking and English communities, and where we discuss daily our backtesting, where we discuss the things and so on. And this you can see also the recent graph. So pretty much here, this unswept liquidity, this can be potentially the liquidity to be swept down here. So that's actually the price already going down. But anyway, so yeah, see you guys in the next videos. Bye bye.